Miracles aren't magic. They're not some cosmic lottery. They're patterns, neural pathways firing in sequence, universal laws working exactly as they're designed to. I'm Amirah Hall. I'm the author of Manifesting Miracles 101 and the Success Frequency. I spent over 40 years studying neuroscience and metaphysics, not just reading about it, living it, teaching it, watching these principles transform lives for myself and all my clients. And here's what I know. Your brain doesn't care about your 5-year plan. It cares about what you do today, right now, this minute. You want to run a marathon? Your brain needs you to lace up your shoes. That's it. Not the 26 miles, just the shoes. Small actions create neural connections, and these connections become highways. Those highways become who you are. That's not magic. That's how the universal laws work through your neurology. And here's what most people don't understand. Your brain isn't just processing information on 3 dimensions, it's operating across multiple dimensions simultaneously. Your conscious mind processes maybe 40 bits of information per second. Now, your subconscious? Well, 20 million bits per second. Beyond that, your brain is interfacing with the quantum fields, electromagnetic frequencies, morphic resonance fields, collective consciousness. And when you think a thought, you're not just firing neurons in your skull, you're creating electromagnetic patterns that radiate out into the field around you. And these patterns interact with other fields, other frequencies, other dimensions of reality. Your brain is a quantum processor operating in a multidimensional universe. And once you understand how to work with all those dimensions, that's when miracles become predictable. So step 1, decide, not hope, not wish, not I'll try. Most people think they're making decisions, but what they're actually doing is keeping options open, playing it safe. That's not a decision. That's a maybe. And your brain, well, it can't work with a maybe. The universe can't respond to a maybe. When I say decide that prosperity is your birthright, I mean you stop entertaining the thought that it might not be. When I say decide you're going to heal your body, I mean stop identifying as sick. Your brain has something called a reticular activating system, and it's a filter that determines what you notice in your reality. And right now, 88% of your reality is being filtered out. You only see 12%. That 12% matches what you've already decided is true. And if you've decided money is hard to make, that's what you notice. And if you've noticed that you can't trust people, your brain shows you every reason that that's true. But the moment you make a new decision, your filter changes. I had a client, she was an entrepreneur struggling for years. She couldn't break past 100,000 in annual revenue. And I asked her, are you willing to decide right now that business can be easy and profitable? She laughed. And I said, well, I'm not asking you to believe it yet. I'm asking you to be willing to decide it. She said, yeah. So within 3 months, she landed a $175,000 contract. And that came from someone who had been in her network the whole time. She didn't see it before because she couldn't decide to see it yet. So here's what neuroscience tells us. Your brain doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's vividly imagined. So when you make a decision about your future, your brain starts recording it as if it's already happened. You're building a memory of the future that hasn't yet occurred. And that memory changes who you are right here, right now. So what's the miracle you want to create? Make the decision, make it final, and make it now. Step 2, detonate. Now, here's the formula. Desire plus non-resistance equals the desired result. Not desire plus hustle, not desire plus figuring out how, desire plus non-resistance. Because you can make the most powerful decision in the world, but if you're in resistance, you block the miracle from reaching you. So what's resistance? Resistance is your nervous system in fight or flight, anxiety, overwhelm, worry, doubt, second guessing. It's checking your bank account every day and panicking. It's wondering when it's going to happen. It's that voice in your head saying, "Who do you think you are?" All of that is resistance. And your nervous system has two modes: powerful states and primal states. Powerful states feel good: joy and calm, curiosity, enthusiasm. This is when you're connected to solutions, your intuition, to miracles. The primal states that don't feel good, that's stress and fear and anger. And this is when you're disconnected from everything that you want. The average person spends 8 hours a day in primal state. That's 2,920 hours a year blocking miracles from their life. You cannot receive a miracle while you're in fight or flight. Your body has to feel safe, receptive, surrendered. So here's how you interrupt the pattern. Catch yourself in the act. The moment you feel that familiar spiral starting, that anxiety, that doubt, stop. Physically stop what you're doing and take 3 coherent breaths, 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out. And here's the key. As you breathe in for 5 seconds, imagine fireworks exploding in your mind or all around you. Brilliant colors, bright bursts of light all around you, breaking up those old patterns. See them scatter, see the anxiety dissolve, shatter the doubt, blast apart those limiting thoughts, and then breathe out for 5 seconds. Watch the fragments dissolve, and do this 3 times. 3 rounds of fireworks, and each one breaking up more of the old pattern. This isn't just visualization. This is a pattern interruption at the neural level. And when you imagine those fireworks, you're activating different neural networks. You're literally firing neurons in sequence that are incompatible with the anxiety pattern. And there's more. You're also activating your heart's electromagnetic field. Your heart operates at an electromagnetic field 5,000 times stronger than your brain's. And when you breathe coherently with those fireworks, you shift that field. You literally change the frequency you're broadcasting into the multiple dimensions. I recall this client I worked with, real high-powered executive. Every morning, she'd wake up in the full panic mode. And I taught her this practice. And the moment she opened her eyes, she placed her hand on her heart and she'd say, "Not today." Then 3 coherent breaths, 5 seconds in, imagining all the fireworks exploding, breaking up the panic. 5 seconds out, watching everything dissolve. Within 2 weeks, the panic pattern completely lost its power over her. And within a month, she was waking up calm and clear and ready. But more than that, meetings went smoother. Conflicts resolved themselves. Opportunities appeared. Same reality, different frequency. That's the law of rhythm working with multiple dimensional neuroscience. Your job isn't to force miracles. Your job is to detonate the resistance to them. And step 3, embody. This is where most people fail. They make the decision. They work on non-resistance, but they keep living as the person who doesn't have a miracle yet. The miracle stays in the future, always just out of reach. So here's what you need to understand. You don't chase miracles. You receive them. And you receive them by becoming the person who it already has them. And if you already have the miracle you decided on, who would that be? Give that person a name. Define that identity for yourself. Because here's what neuroscience shows us. Your brain doesn't distinguish between the past and the present and the future when it comes to neural activation. When you start living as the fulfilled version of yourself, your brain records it as real. You're rewiring your neural pathways to match your identity of the person who has what you want. And when your identity shifts, your identity has no choice but to follow. Here's the key. You exist in multiple dimensions, but you're having a physical experience. The physical dimension requires physical action. So identify the smallest possible action that moves you towards what you want. If you want to write a book, it's opening your laptop. If you want to get healthy, it's putting on those workout clothes. If you want better relationships, it's sending one text. And when you take that small action in physical reality, you're collapsing quantum possibilities into physical form. In the quantum field, infinite possibilities exist simultaneously, all potential. The moment you take physical action, you collapse that wave function. Potential becomes actual. Do that small action, just that one. And what you're doing is training your nervous system across dimensions. You're sending a signal into the quantum field. I'm serious about this. The field responds to action. Always, always. And every time you take that small action, you're building a new neural pathway. You're creating new electromagnetic patterns. You're collapsing quantum possibilities. You're shifting your frequency across dimensions. All of it happening simultaneously. Do it again tomorrow. The pathway gets stronger. The field pattern stabilizes. And within weeks, your brain starts expecting it. Within months, it becomes automatic across all dimensions. That's not willpower. That's neuroplasticity meeting quantum physics, meeting universal laws. Now let's bring it all together. Miracles aren't random. They're the natural result of working with universal laws and your multidimensional neurology. So step 1, decide. Make a final unwavering decision. Step 2, detonate. 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out. Imagine fireworks exploding, breaking up the old patterns. Shift your frequency. And step 3, embody. Live as the fulfilled version of yourself. Take the smallest action, collapse the quantum possibilities. This is 40 years of practice, 4 decades of watching these principles work. Your brain is the most sophisticated quantum processor in the known universe. This is not just a brain in a skull. It's a multidimensional being operating across timelines and frequencies and the quantum fields. What's that one pattern you're going to detonate today? Would you breathe in that fireworks and watch them shatter what's holding you back? And what's the one small action you're going to take in physical reality? The miracle starts the second you decide it does. And that decision is happening right now across all dimensions, all the timelines. So make it.